is January the 30th, 2025, and I wanted to wait for the end of the week, but there's too much shit going on to wait till the end of the week for me to talk about right now. First off, we had the Inspector General of the Department of Agriculture, Phyllis Fong, refusing that she didn't even want to leave her office when President Trump told her that she was terminated. They had to escort her out. Security had to escort her out of her office because she refused to leave, okay? She shouldn't have just been escorted out. She should have been arrested on site. When you refuse to leave your position and you're fired and you're told to go, you need to be locked up, okay? That's the kind of people that we're dealing with right now, that have jobs in the government, she's just one, but there's just so much trash like her. That needs to be handled a different way. Again, jail. She should have been put in jail instead of just simply escorted out. That's all I gotta say about that. She's a piece of trash. Okay, so let's talk about last night, right? So we had, a helicopter that seemed to collide with a plane in Washington, D.C., right? Just happened to be flying at the same level. So the same people that think that was an accident are the same people that think that the California fires were an accident. They're the same people that think COVID-19 was a pandemic. They're the same people that think that they're not lied to on a daily basis by the media, by the fake news media. That's all I got to say about that. They're going to investigate that and hopefully determine the exact outcome, which I'm sure they will. But there's accidents. I mean, there's a small chance it was an accident, but I would have to say that to me, there was no accident as far as that goes. So we're gonna see the investigations, and then we're gonna see what they get out of that. Then, besides that, I think this first week of Trump back in office has been spectacular. It has been fucking spectacular. And I mean, we're talking about getting the illegal immigrants out of this country. Seeing these videos gives me an absolute hard-on. Do I have a heart? Of course I have a heart. Of course I have a heart. I have a big heart, actually. I cry like any pussy. I cry a lot about different things that are emotional. I don't have a heart when it comes to people that are doing things against the law, okay? So what we have here, again, is we still have a lot of brain-dead people in this world that seem not to understand that being an illegal immigrant is criminal. It's a criminal act. It's a criminal violation. All President Trump is doing is upholding the law by doing exactly what he's sending Tom Homan and ICE to do, and that's get the illegals out of this country. Most of these illegals, I would say, are up to no good. They're criminals. They're rapists. They're killers. Whatever. I would say that there's probably a lot of deemed illegal immigrants that are good people, that are actually in this country to do good things. I think that there's possibilities that there could be exceptions for some of these people, especially if they have families and children, and if it's people that have been working good jobs here for a long time and have been doing nothing but good things. I think there is a possibility it could be exceptions made to keep certain people in the country that are even illegal. But the process needs to be put into place where the average person that wants to come to this country has to do so on a legal knowing. It's very simple. And that's all they're trying to install, is that if you want to come over to the United States of America and supposedly live the greatest life, that's fine. I say supposedly because this country has really turned to shit most recently, unfortunately. But you have to do it the correct way. You have to do it by the law. It's very simple. Instead of doing what the imposter Biden administration did and knowingly let illegal immigrants into this country to try to steal another election, okay, which they were not going to be able to do this last time. But that was their intention. And of course, you know, have immigrants that you could just basically have work for free almost, you know, making clothes, making food, picking crops, you know, whatever. I mean, just working at very cheap cost, okay? But regardless, the main goal of this country, and again, to uphold the law, is to have these people come into the country lawfully. It's very simple. And all Donald Trump is doing is trying to uphold the law. And he gets ripped for it by scumbags. The scumbags that just want to ignore the facts, ignore the law, and act like, oh my God, let's be like Selena Gomez. Oh my God, why did they do this to me? Why are they doing this to my people? Selena Gomez is a piece of shit, a cunt, a whore, a pig. She's the epitome of trash. Her little act, she's crying for these illegal immigrants. Oh my God, my people, I don't know why. You're trash. This is why Justin Bieber left you, because you're a fucking nut job, okay? That's got some kind of like bipolarity or some kind of fucking, and I'm not harping on people that have mental conditions, but I'm making a point that she probably does have one of these mental conditions, and she needs serious help. And that act that she performed, that just fucking helps exceed all the shit that's going wrong with this country. It just makes people look at it, and you know, that are looking at things the wrong way, and somewhat agree with her little bullshit spout that she did, crying for criminals. Okay? The illegal, very simply again, the illegal, I could sit here and say this a million times in a row, the illegal immigrants need to leave this country. I do agree that if they agreed that there are some exceptions, okay, especially to illegal deemed immigrants that have families here, they have children, they have, you know, big families, they've done nothing but good in this country, I think that there should probably be exceptions made, but you can't make everybody an exception. The whole point is installing in people. Don't try to come to the United States of America unless you're coming legally. And if you're a criminal or have performed criminal acts, we don't want you here, period. We don't want you here 30 years down the road. Stay where you are. Just stay whatever country you're in. Stay the fuck there, because we don't want you here. Okay, I've had enough of that. Okay. So I also think it's terrific. All these executive orders that are going into effect that President Trump is signing, I think the DEI executive order to eliminate DEI is tremendous, because what does DEI stand for? I mean, look in the dictionary at DEI. DEI, the classification, should be for everyone to be looked at equally the same, right? So, like, I'm white, right? So if you're black, if you're yellow, if you're purple, if you're fucking brown, if you're red, whatever color you are, if you're orange, yellow, whatever color you are, okay, you should be looked at equally, right? So that's up on getting hired for certain job positions. That's just up on being praised on television, okay, like you're a hero for whatever. There should be no looking at any type of race or nationality. Everybody should be looked at absolutely equally, right? Unfortunately, what they've done in this country is, most recently in these last few years, is they have taken people, right, and they have positioned them in certain areas of certain races, it's obvious, I'm not going to get into it, and I'm the least racist person, but my problem is they did this to divide. So you're taking certain nationalities, certain races, certain people that believe in certain religions or certain sexual acts or whatever, and you're putting them on this certain pedestal to make it like that they're better than the opposite. And that's not real DEI. That's not what DEI stands for. And all it's done is polluted the military. It's polluted the government as a whole. It's polluted police forces. It's polluted everyday life around the world, not just in this country. But again, the only thing I worry about is this country. I still worry about other countries that things are being done right. But I mean, I live in the United States of America, so therefore I want to make sure that the things are being done in this country correctly more than any other country. So eliminating the DEI standards of what they become is nothing but a positive, because all President Trump has been seeing is all the bullshit that's been going on. And, and these DEI hires, it's like, what it's become, because, well, we're going to hire you for this position because you're of this ethnicity, okay? But you know what? You're really not qualified. Like, you really don't know much of shit about this, but we're going to hire you because this is what DEI has become in our eyes. So because you're this nationality, this color, we're going to hire you over this color of a person that is actually a lot more smarter than you and knows a lot more about this business, right? A person that should have been hired. Just making an example, right? So you have dumb fucks working in a lot of positions that they shouldn't have ever been given a job, but they were given that position because of, again, their color, their nationality, whatever the reason. And again, we should all be looked at equally, right? As what the real definition of DEI is. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get back to that someday, and that won't be a problem. But right now, it's become a major problem. It's just like the same shit of the teachers in schools. There was another order signed. Teachers that are trying to put, certain more like race baiting tactics into students, like just, basically saying, certain races, certain religions are more powerful than others. Trying to install in younger kids' minds that it's okay, sex changes are okay, and almost promoting them that kids should undergo these if they, really feel comfortable, a boy that wants to be a girl or a girl that wants to be a boy. And these are underage kids that aren't even old enough to make their own fucking decisions. And then you have people that actually are fighting this. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, really, what is happening in this world, man? Like, goddamn. I mean, has the name Republican and Democrat just divided everything to where even if you're on the opposing side, that you're praising, like, violence, you're praising, like, warped-minded shit? I mean, Jesus Christ, like, let's just all be, like, fucking realistic, right? And, like, let's just all be sane with our decisions and what we think. No matter if you like Donald Trump or you don't, Donald Trump, again, is here for the right things in the world. And again, the globalists, the ones that are doing their jobs illegally by funding money and making livings off of, collecting money from, big pharma or other countries, they hate Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the opposite of their value. Therefore, again, they've tried to turn everything and make it like, he's this bad human being, and, he's Hitler, and, this and that. But it will just eventually become more and more known that you were all being lied to about so many things. And me, little old me, I was here to basically enlighten the simpletons of the world. And sadly, on my page, on my Facebook page, I would say that there's too many simpletons on my page. That just, I can't explain your brain cells. I would have to investigate. We would have to investigate your brains and see how much gray matter is there, how small your brain cells really are, for you to comprehend what you've been comprehending or what you've been listening to and really buy into so much of the bullshit that you've believed in. Oh man, that's just another day. That's another topic. That's another day. That's another day if I want to sit here and just harp on that. But anyway, this has been a very strong first week. All the executive orders signed into action. and President Trump taking his show to North Carolina to show his support for the hurricane victims, to go to California and show his support for the people who lost their homes due to a fire that was caused from, you know. So, and for what reason? Well, I don't know. We'll know soon, right? Then he gets into it with the mayor, you know, and she tries to, the mayor in California, and she tries to make it like she's, you know, she's doing the right things and this and that, and meanwhile she's not, you know. And Newsom, I mean, he's already bending the knee because he knows his political career is over. Just from this happening, they were going to push him in the next, 4 years from now, and he was going to most likely be, the Democrat running for presidency, because of this incident in California that really backfired on him for sure, because it's really making him look bad, and I think his political career is going to be dead. He's not going to be the governor anymore. He's not going to be the Democratic's representative for president in 4 years. So, you know, he went and he met President Trump on the runway, and he wasn't even supposed to be there, and he wanted to just go and kiss his ass and probably basically tell Trump to his ear, like, you know, yeah, okay, now I see what's been going on, and you're right, like, you know, they hung me out to dry and to make me look like a fool. And I don't know, maybe he disagreed to do something that they wanted him to do, the deep state, the elites, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, and then at the World Economic Forum last week, where you have all these pompous, filthy globalists, the richest of the rich, that only care about themselves, only care about their lifestyle, only care about the vision that they see for the future, right? So these are people that probably don't like rap music. These are people that probably don't like guys that wear wife beaters. They don't like guys that wear their shorts down too low. You know, they all have their own vision of how they want to see people dress. They probably don't like McDonald's. They probably just like lobster tail with butter, and so do I. But I also like McDonald's. And they want you to basically have their views. They want you to see the world as they see it, and they don't want you to have your opinion. They basically want to be communists over you. And President Trump basically, when he was on Skype or whatever video they had him on, and basically letting the globalists know that this is America first time. And if you want to make things in the United States, you're welcome. But this is America first. We're not doing this for globalists first. We're doing this for America first. We're going to be changing everything around the way it should be. For the American people first, not for Zelensky, not for, Klaus Schwab, not for George Soros, not for all these globalist pieces of shit. We're doing things for the American people first. Okay? That's the main thing. Also, there was, a couple of weeks ago, or at the inauguration, where Eric Trump, over a week ago, where Eric Trump basically was caught with his hands flipping, having the Illuminati sign upside down. Okay, so he made a little pose when he was standing still, and basically his wife Laura kind of like shrugged to him like, stop, like don't do that. Well, if you know what the Illuminati sign stands for, when you throw your hands the opposite direction and make an upside down Illuminati sign, it stands for the complete opposite of the Illuminati sign. So basically, that's Eric Trump letting the globalists know, fuck off, fuck you, all the pedophiles, fuck you, all the people that are trying to, run the New World Order and make it their world, fuck you. This is our world. This is the citizens of the world of every country. This is our world. This isn't their world. This isn't any congressman or senator or even president's world. This is just, they work for us, right? They were voted by us. Well, at least most elections, not 2020, but most elections they were voted for us, and that's it. They need us. We don't need them. So, but they want you to think that you need them, and that's not the case. I think it's a great thing that Vladimir Putin, when he was being interviewed a few days ago, that he did bring up that, you know, President Trump did get screwed in the 2020 election, that it was a stolen election. And again, when they investigate that, the great Pam Bondi eventually, I don't know, it might be this year, it might be next year, but eventually that 2020 election will be investigated, and it will be shown without a shadow of a doubt, because the evidence, they do have the evidence that Donald Trump did win that election. My goal, again, is to see Sleepy Joe Biden's name removed from the book, like they did when USC lost the national championship, or won the national championship, I'm sorry. I think it was 2004. I don't even remember the year. Anyway, won the game. It was found out that they cheated at the time. The national championship was removed from the books, like it didn't even exist. This is what my goal is for this, that they show that Donald Trump won the election. How could you keep Sleepy Joe Biden's name in the books that he actually won an election that he never did? So you erase his name. So basically for 2020, you could even put Donald Trump with an asterisk, being it that or you could just award it back to him like you should, but we would all know regardless that he's a true 3-time winner, that he won in 2016, he won in 2020, and he won in 2024. Okay, that's the goal, and that's eventually going to be shown. But there's so many other things to do first before we get there. There's just so many other things to do. I think getting some of these people approved, that Trump picked for his cabinet, we've been getting some. Hegseth, that was a big thing. Kash Patel, Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, what a great guy. And again, these people that bash him, okay, especially the senators that were sitting up there and ridiculing him with all their nonsense. These senators are being funded by Big Pharma. Wow, figure that. Go figure that they're being paid to side with Big Pharma, even knowing that Big Pharma, the medicines, a lot of the medicines that they give are loaded with junk, right? That they're just tarnished, and they're loaded with things that can actually more poison your body than help your body. Same thing with vaccines. They want to make you think that vaccines are like vitamins. They're not. Vaccines are not natural. I think vaccines can probably be made a better way than they're being made now, to where they actually could be more beneficial for the human body. But I do think that if you really look into what's in vaccines, there's a lot of negative things in vaccines that are not good for your body, that are actually toxic. How stupid can people be when Robert Kennedy Jr. is doing nothing but honestly trying to look out for you in your health, like anybody? I mean, and especially the children. He always points it to the children, to the younger kids, that, he's looking out more for them. But it even comes down to the food companies. Again, I've been over this with all the shit that they put in foods, and they've already eliminated the red dye, and they've hopefully next is going to be corn syrup, because high fructose corn syrup is just something that's in a lot of things, mostly everything, and it's very bad. I mean, it's just it's got very toxic effects on the body, and it's just a cheaper form of sugar. That's why they use it in this country, because it's just cheaper, so it saves them money, and they can make more money in the long run by using it over actual real sugar, and it causes very toxic effects. And if you see in other countries what they use in their products, again, you have really basically every other country using the opposite ingredients of what we use in this country in our foods that are in the stores, the majority of them. I mean, unless you're getting an organic food, or you're going to a special natural, like a natural market or something, or you're making it yourself, your foods are loaded with junk, So, of course, the goal would be just to eat healthier, eat more organic fruit and organic vegetables, like lean meats, and actually cook at home as much as possible over eating out, just for the fact that, again, most places that you're eating out are using piss poor ingredients. So you don't want to eat too much of that stuff, or else it's just going to cause more and more damage to your body, especially over years. It might take time and it also depends on how much you're actually eating per day or per week, but it's taking a toll on your body. It's doing bad things. So Robert Kennedy just wants to eliminate these toxins from foods. He wants to eliminate these toxins from vaccines. And goddamn, he's still got people that are against them. Go figure. Again, because they're making money from big pharma. They're making money from big food companies. These companies knowing that they're giving the American people a cheaper version of shit, but they're okay with it. They're okay with people dying eventually or getting cancer or getting whatever, because, they'll make more money in the long run off of it. And then these corrupt politicians, they'll just take payoffs. They don't care, so they could care less. And then they'll go and they'll just make more shit with good people like Kennedy that are just trying to do better things for everybody in the world. So anyway, just want to keep seeing the cabinet approved. All the people that Trump picked are all, the top tier qualified people to fill those positions. Again, I would have loved to see Matt Gaetz in there, but Pam Bondi's great. And, it's just all people that are really want to do great things. They want to do great things for this country. It's like they all came together to form this super team, and they're just doing this for like the betterment of the United States, and they're doing this for the betterment of the world. And again, sadly, you still have people that just don't see that. They just, I don't know, man, the hate, the whatever, it's built up so much, and they bought into so many lies. I guess they figure it's okay. Let's just continue. Let's just continue. And even when you're actually shown these things, you're still going to probably find a way to, you morons are still going to probably find a way to, believe and buy into these bullshit lies that you're being fed. So you're really like wasted souls. You're wasted souls like Selena Gomez. You're wasted souls like so many. You're just okay being fed the bullshit, and you're going to just keep eating it, and you're going to think it tastes delicious. You really think it tastes delicious, don't you? You morons really think it tastes good, don't you? And I just laugh at you. I've been laughing at you. I've been laughing at you my whole life. People like you, I've been laughing at my entire life, because I am a chosen person of many, but I am a chosen person that I have a brain that I've used to the fullest, to not be bamboozled, and again, to provide truth to people that want to accept it or listen to it, and not call it a conspiracy theories. Because again, like Senator Kennedy told Kash Patel today, it's funny how all these conspiracies were like 31-0 on conspiracy theories, because all these things that they said were conspiracy theories about whatever, the Russia, and so many other things have all been proven to be lies. And, at the time they were deemed conspiracy theories. Oh, they're just saying it, they're making it up, again, it comes in all fields of entertainment, of news. You're just being lied to on a daily basis. You're being lied to by entertainers. They want you to think that they're such great people. And I think, and some of them are, like, just like athletes. I think some of them are tremendous. I think like they really are about doing things to, like, for the community, and to try to, do things for the kids, and do it with a smile on their face. And then I think that there's those that, they may show up to a charity event and they do it just so they look good. I think there's a lot of those, and they're really not good people. They're just doing it because they're doing it for their image, and they're doing it so people think that they're such great people, and that they'll keep buying their jerseys, and they'll keep going and seeing their movies. And but there's just so many liars in all forms. And again, if you want to keep buying in, buy in. But I've never have, and I never will. So that's that. Okay. What else did I want to touch on? I kind of wanted to wait to the end of this week, because I wanted to see, see if some of these other confirmations went through, and talk about that, but I'll do that next week. So I'm figuring Kennedy, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard. There'll be some other ones that are hopefully, approved by the end of this week, going into next week, so these people could just start, helping for the betterment of this country. That's just just like Pete Hegseth has already, he already got thrown into the fire, unfortunately, with this plane crash, with the helicopter. Just like Trump, it happens 1 week in, right? And just miraculously or mysteriously, it just happens. Anyway, so so I uploaded YouTube, Ernest the Cat Miller, his podcast. That's my bro, man. Me and my buddies, we've known the cat for a long time, since he was in WCW, and we used to mark out and chase the wrestlers, and Cat was always he was the most cool with us, and we'd go out to eat with Cat, and I don't think we ever got to a strip club with the Cat, but we went out to eat a few times, and hung out at the hotels and stuff. So I stayed good and cool with the Cat for years, and I said, hey bro, you gotta get me on your podcast, man. This is some entertainment, and I mean, of course I know the wrestling business too, which is what his podcast mainly focuses on. He's also been in movies, The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, that's his biggest role. But anyway, man, Ernest is a good dude, and that was great being on his show. Hopefully we'll do it again. And we just sat there and we shot the shit. I was on there with his co-host Big Ray. I was on there with Ronnie Gossett, the shooter Ronnie Gossett, who's wrestling or ex-wrestler on the independent scene. But it was great. It was great talking wrestling, and then we got into some other stuff, and it was cut out. But whatever, I get it. I mean, it's the Cat show, and I mean he's in, it's okay. Like we got into some other stuff, California and politics, and that didn't make it. That didn't make it. But anyway, most of the stuff made it. So it was great talking the business. And Ernest is my dude, man. So everybody watch the Cat's podcast on YouTube. I think there's an episode every week, and it's good stuff. So also, what do I want to touch on? I want to touch on the Raiders. Okay, so we hired Old Man Pete Carroll. Everybody, oh hey, he's the oldest coach. Hey, he's the oldest. Okay, great. Who gives a shit? He's the oldest. The guy is a coach, right? And he's a name, right? So this is what, especially the NFL, out of all sports, the NFL has become the most changing coach business, I think, out of any. It just seems like the coaches are fired and coaches are hired more than any other sport. It's just the way it is. And like I said, my view was I would have had Antonio Pierce back. I would have brought Antonio Pierce back because I feel like he's had one full season to coach. The team was very injured. They were up there among the most injured in football, if not the most injured, on the course of a 17-game season. So you take a lot of your talent off the field, of course it's going to make you a weaker team, which it did. It made the Raiders a weaker team. I don't know how many games they would have won if they were fully healthy. I'm not saying they would have won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they even would have made the playoffs, but I know they would have won more than 4 games. I think if they would have, at least if they won 8 last year with predominantly the same team, and they added Christian Wilkins, who was a really good add, and they added Brock Bowers. But again, losing Devontae Adams hurt, trading him, and also, all the injured players that hurt. So, okay, let's get Pierce out. Let's bring in a name, right? A guy who's actually been the head coach of a team that's won a Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, always, wherever he coached, the teams had success. Of course, they had talent too, but they had success. Now, the only true success in my eyes is world champion. I've said this to everybody. So I have teams that make the playoffs and then they lose in the first round, or the Yankees, they lose in the World Series. It doesn't do shit for me. It's just you're at the loser line. You're in the loser line. If you're at the end of it, if you're at the beginning of it, you're in the loser line unless you're holding that trophy in each sport. So, but Pete Carroll, success the way that the average person wants to look at it, or the way that the media looks at it, is, mostly his teams have had winning records in the season, regardless championship or not. And he does have that one world championship under his banner as a head coach. So there you go. You bring in the big name, Pete Carroll. So we'll see what happens. I just think the Raiders have to simply get healthy. They got a lot of money to spend. They're going to have to re-sign some of their own guys. They're going to have to, draft well, like always. Quarterback, I like Aiden O'Connell, but, they're going to have to make their choice. Now, whether it's signing Russell Wilson for a year, whether it's... I would say if they're going to sign anybody, I would stay away from Darnold. I wanted Rodgers a couple of years ago, but at this point, of course, I would stay away from Rodgers unless you're getting him dirt cheap, which I don't think is going to happen. I would go, I would probably go Russell Wilson because, you put the talent we have on offense around Russell Wilson, he'll probably do fairly well. I mean, he doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Now, I always say this. None of these quarterbacks turned the ball over a lot before they came to the Raiders. So Garoppolo never really turned the ball over a lot. Again, he only had like 6 starts with the Raiders, but they were horrible, mostly, overall horrible. Gardner Minshew, I mean, I think he completed like 67% of his passes in the games that he played, which was about half of the games of the season, because then he got hurt, or he didn't start. But the thing that killed Gardner Minshew was the turnovers. It was the interceptions, or it was even the fumbles. I mean, he was fumbling it a lot. But the guy was actually mostly accurate. I mean, he was completing passes, but the turnovers killed him. But these are things that they didn't do before they came to the Raiders. So I hope if they do get, say, like Russell Wilson to come in and compete with Aiden O'Connell, and Russell Wilson happens to win the job, I hope Russell Wilson doesn't all of a sudden just turn it over also. Because, I mean, that's the main thing. You can't have turnovers. They win and lose a lot of these games in any sport. Basketball, hockey, football or baseball, you're going to look at it as errors, right? I mean, that's what it is. There's no actual turnover. But when you're giving teams second chances like the Yankees gave the Dodgers in that miserable 5th inning of Game 5 of the World Series, and it comes back to bite you in the ass when you do enough stupid things. So what I've seen of Aiden O'Connell so far, a very minimal amount of repetition over the 2 years of his NFL career, but I see a guy who has a quick release. I see a guy who's very accurate. I see a guy who could throw the ball down the field. And the one thing he has going against him is his mobility. He's not, like a guy that's got like tremendous speed, or, he's not going to try to run all the time, or he might not move around in the pocket a ton, but he can improve on that. And so I think everything else, I think he really deserves a fair shot. So again, if you're going to bring in Russell Wilson to compete, because they're going to cut Gardner Minshew, and they're going to save some money out of that, and then they're going to eat a couple of million, I think. But, it's okay. But make it a real fair competition. Like, I mean, if Aiden performs great, give him the job. Like, don't just give Russell Wilson the job because, he was a quarterback on for a Super Bowl championship team. I don't know how Aiden O'Connell lost the job last year to Gardner, but he did. And Pierce even admitted that it was a bad fuck up. Like, that his gut said Aiden O'Connell should be the starter. So why wasn't he? Why wasn't he? If it was in your gut, why wasn't he the fucking starter? Something happened there. Like, I don't know what it was, but something happened there. More corrupt inside stuff like there is in all this other shit that's going on in the world. But anyway, Pete Carroll, for his name value, is what the NFL is. You bring him into the AFC West. You say, oh, okay, Pete Carroll won championship. Sean Payton won championship. Jim Harbaugh, a national championship, no NFL championship. And then, of course, Andy Reid, sadly, 3 championships. Hopefully that's where it ends. Hopefully that the Eagles do win the Super Bowl that's coming up and, end the Chiefs' 2-year streak. So it's not 3 years. They'd be the only team in history that's won 3 straight championships. So, of course, I do not want to see that happen. I'm a major Chief hater. Of course, they're in the AFC West. I hate everything they do. I hate everything they're about. I hate Taylor Swift, and I hate them all. Okay, so I don't want to see them win. I want to see the Eagles win. And I mean, look, the Bills were capable. They just couldn't get it done. Even the Texans were capable. They just couldn't get it done. I mean, these teams were right there, but they just weren't good enough. And I do think the Eagles are better than those teams. Therefore, I think the Eagles are in really good shape, but they're going to have to play a smart game, like anything. Like I just said, no turnovers. You got to play smart. If they play smart, I think the Eagles should win that game. I think it would probably be a good game. I don't think it's going to be anything like a blowout on either side. But I think that the Eagles, hopefully, not just because I hate the Chiefs, but I'm being honest, that I think the Eagles should win that game. So we'll see what happens. What else? I think that's it, man. I just, I got so sick. I get so sick of the illegal immigrant stuff. I mean, it gets really old. Why we're criticizing why criminals shouldn't be in the goddamn United States of America. It's just hilarious how people will find anything to go against. Like, just because they don't like somebody, they'll go the opposite direction, even if it's supporting criminal acts. Unlike January the 6th, unlike the sad thing, all those people that really should have never served any jail time were basically out on a street, actually more of a protest, and got locked up for multiple years at a time, and then Trump pardons these people, and it's not okay. But then it's okay that Sleepy Joe Biden is like pardoning people that didn't even have any accusations presented against them, just to prevent anything from, or at least trying to have anything from happening to them, knowing that they're obviously guilty. Mark Milley, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Benny Thompson, all pieces of trash, all corrupt pieces of trash. It just takes a few to align and say that, we'll be behind something, even if knowing it's corrupt, because they don't like somebody, and accepting money, I'm sure, lots of money. But hopefully, again, those people that I just named will all be investigated in the very soon, actually, and that it's proven that the January 6th committee was nothing but a farce, and that those people should suffer a criminal penalty. And Mark Milley, another guy, should be stripped of everything that he's ever earned as a general. The guy is he's a corrupted general. He's a treasonous scumbag. And this is why they took his picture down at the Pentagon, because he shouldn't be honored. He's a piece of fat trash shit. Okay? That's what Mark Milley is. A piece of fat trash shit. All right? Anyway. It's a beautiful day here in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of it. So we're going to see what these so-called investigations are doing right now with this this crash we had last night of this helicopter that should have been nowhere in the vicinity of a plane that was landing, but somehow it was. So we're going to see what these three military men were about that were in this helicopter, what their true motive was, why they were where they were in that helicopter at that level off the ground, when they shouldn't have been at that level. They should have been lower, not higher, not as high as they were. So anyway, we'll just go and we'll watch these proceedings on these corrupted activities, and then I'm gonna have more to say about it next week. Trying to think if I have anything else I want to say. No. Okay. I'll see you.